With the election less than a week away, we look at the issue of river pollution and how voters want the next government to address it.
I would like the government to actually take some action, just to be mindful that people do care about the rivers, do care about the environment.
We'll know the Prime Minister making decisions on rivers next Friday. Good evening. Concerns have been raised about high levels of E. coli in the River Thames ahead of next week's Henley Royal Regatta. The quality of our water is an ongoing area of concern for many people ahead of next week's general election. And viewers have got in touch with us through the BBC Your Voice, Your Vote website for that very reason. So our environment correspondent, Tom Edwards, went to the Thames to speak to those concerned.
You don't worry about sewage?
No, we're mindful.
So tiny risk of getting sick and a total certainty of having a good time.
Swimming with the Teddington blue tits in the Thames in Kingston. Here they're careful to check if there have been sewage discharges upstream. So what do they want from the next government?
I would like the government to actually take some action, a little bit more action, just to be mindful that people do care about the rivers, do care about the environment and want a government to take action.
Well, I think the regulators need to have perhaps a bit more power. The fines need to be perhaps stronger.
Sewage is being discharged into our rivers and chalk streams. This is the River Colne in Hillingdon. At the moment, private companies operate water infrastructure under regulators. The latest data from City Hall shows this year almost 4 times the amount of sewage was discharged into the Thames compared to last year. This huge super sewer built under the Thames will help storm overflows, although it won't stop them on its tributaries. Old sewage systems haven't been able to cope with a very wet winter.
Hopefully the London sewer will help, but the big problem I think is the fact that the Environment Agency and Ofwat are toothless. They have no powers, therefore when it does happen no one is holding a hand up and saying this is not acceptable, and they just carry on.
Ultimately, it's about investment in the sewage infrastructure, and it just doesn't cope. It's probably not been invested in for a few decades, and that's really going to need investment. And I think what we've seen with Thames Water is that private money won't necessarily put the money in, so maybe government's got to put some money in to help improve that infrastructure.
Charities say ultimately the system needs investment. The question is, who will pay for it?
We want a properly regulated water industry who are incentivised to improve their infrastructure to maintain river health. And ultimately we want that to be really communicated so that people can be involved in some of those decisions and choices, and they can enjoy and see the benefits to the improved river health every day.
Currently, an old system makes rivers susceptible to sewage. Thames Water says it is upgrading 250 sewage works. The question is, will the next government clean up the capital's rivers? I'm on embankment now, and obviously this is a big issue for a lot of people. Lots of people have been in contact with us, and thank you for that. So what are the main parties going to do about it? Well, we've been through the manifestos, and the Conservatives say they will work with the regulator to hold companies to account, including banning executive bonuses if a company has committed a serious criminal breach. Labour says it will put failing water companies under special measures and give regulators new powers and bring criminal charges against persistent lawbreakers. The Liberal Democrats, they say they will transform water companies into what they're calling public benefit companies. That'll mean they'll be able to enforce environmental goals, and they'll also introduce a tough new regulator. Well, the Green Party says it will take the water companies back into public ownership, i.e. renationalisation. As for these water bills, we're going to find out what's going to happen to them on July the 11th after the election, whoever wins, and we can probably expect some big rises there, Assad.
Yeah, OK, Tom, thanks very much for now. Well, and Tom's written a piece for our website on that very issue he's been talking about. If you want to take a look, do go to the usual address.